Family greetings, welcome back to my channel. I just thought I would make some reflections about the situation unfolding in Ukraine. In my last video, the only thing I did was I spoke about the fact that the conflict actually started. But I've been monitoring this situation for quite a while, and I've come to several conclusions about why it happened and about the response of the international community. Okay, now in recent history, Ukraine has already had a conflict with Russia in 2014, and the Russians were successful in annexing Crimea. Okay, it seems to me that Russia is actually scaling its plans down so that it can claim an additional piece of the eastern part of Ukraine. Okay, and I think that's called the Luhansk region, if I'm not mistaken, and Donbass. And basically, there's been widespread casualties on both sides. The Ukrainians have been fighting valiantly despite the odds. The Ukrainians have actually killed thousands of Russian soldiers on their soil. The Russians have also killed thousands of Ukrainian soldiers and civilians. Okay, now I don't think that the casualties on the Ukrainian side are as great as the casualties on the Russian side. And I think this was avoided due to the exodus of citizens from the cities to surrounding countries that are part of the NATO alliance. All right, but in this particular video, I want to discuss the Warsaw Pact and its relationship to the current conflict in Ukraine. Apparently, Russia created the Warsaw Pact as a means of countering the NATO alliance. And one thing that most people fail to mention in their discourse about the Ukraine war is the fact that NATO itself was actually formed as an anti-Soviet alliance. It was basically an anti-Russia alliance. So everybody should pay more attention to the fact that Russia was already thinking that it was under a situation of conflict with Western countries. Okay, the fact that NATO continued to expand was a reflection of the fact that the NATO alliance saw Russia as a greater threat, and they decided to continue expanding into other countries that were formerly a part of the Soviet Union. Okay. Apparently, Russia was approached by NATO about the Warsaw Pact, and there was a deal struck which involved the dissolution of the Warsaw Pact. Okay, when the Warsaw Pact was dissolved, the agreement was that there would be no more NATO expansion. Okay, but NATO responded by adding countries that were formerly a part of the Warsaw Pact, that were formerly a part of the Soviet Union. This seems to me to be a part of the passive-aggressive stance that the West has been taking with regard to Russia. And in my opinion, a lot of this was precipitated by the failure to come to some kind of amicable terms and dialogue throughout all this time. All right, and so family, I just wanted to make these reflections about what's taking place right now in Ukraine. Thoughts and prayers are with the citizens of Ukraine as they encounter the behemoth of the Russian army. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below about all of these dynamics. One love.